Welcome, everybody, to the Hardwood Hoops Hangout number 3. I'm your host, Pete Toll, and joining me this week is Lance Roberson, my man Matt, a.k.a. Meek Mill 1981, and our resident Cavaliers insider, Mr. Shoe Collector 9, better known as Brendan.
Yes.
We're going to talk about all the latest NBA news and notes this week, but I want to jump right in. And, like I said, we have Shoe Collector as our special guest. He's our Cavs insider. So we're going to jump right into the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've started off with a 5-2 record under Tyronn Lue. And, basically it looks like some of the schemes are improving, but want to jump right in and get Brendan's analysis. So, Brendan, take it away, man. What do you think the Cavs under Tyronn Lue?
Well, up until last night, we had, where I thought we really should have won that game against the Hornets. We have been playing really well. So I definitely think what he wants to do in this fast-paced offense suits us very well. When he talked about implementing it at first, it was mainly to get LeBron and Kyrie out in transition, and because they're two of the best finishers in the league by far. So there was a stat where LeBron is shooting 70% in transition or something like that. So getting him to the basket with the least amount of defenders as possible in front of him is just the ideal way to go, whether he wants to do it or not. So I like what we're doing. If we can keep up the defensive intensity too, that remains to be seen, because, playing hard on offense will get you really tired. Playing hard on defense gets you double as tired. So we'll see how that goes. So far it's good. But I'd like to see, this is just a sample size against not so great teams, I'd like to see about 15 to 20 more games.
Okay. Well, with Kevin Love kind of being the first quarter focus, do you think that is this a way to kind of alleviate some of the pressure on LeBron early and allow Kyrie to get in the flow, or is this just trying to find anything at this point to get Kevin Love going and get him comfortable for a stretch run as they roll into the playoffs?
Partly that. I think, really, though, I think this was the plan all along. It just maybe wasn't executed at the beginning of the year because we needed LeBron to score more. Because Blatt and LeBron both talked at the beginning of the year that Kevin Love was going to be the focus of the offense, and I don't think they were BSing around. I think that's really what they wanted to do, to get him going early in the game, because that keeps him involved later in the game. Because you could tell the difference from, when he would only get one or two touches or one or two shots in the first quarter. Later in the game, he just wasn't involved. He wasn't trying to get open. He wasn't setting screens correctly. Defense is abysmal regardless, so, it just didn't help him at all. So I'm glad to see that it's working. I'm glad to see they're definitely changing where he touches the ball. He's definitely getting more touches at the elbow and more touches on the lower block, which is what he needs to do. He's not just a spacer. I understand he's probably a little overrated as far as what he did in Minnesota, but he's definitely still a top 5 power forward in the league and averaged 25 and almost 15. So, he's a good player.
Now, with Kevin Love, do you showcase him as the second option behind LeBron,
No.
or do you let Kyrie become, the second option again and just have Kevin Love pick his spots?
I don't so much think it's like 1, 2, 3. It's LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love. I don't think it's that simple, because in the fourth quarter they all need to be on the floor, and it's not so much. I think you just kind of go with who has the high hand. But early on in the game, they each have their time to shine. What Blatt and Lou now more so likes to do is he will play them all three, obviously, to start the game. He'll take either LeBron out first. I'm not sure what he's going to go with for the rest of the year. He'll either take LeBron out early, let Kyrie and Love go, and then take Kyrie out with about 4 minutes or 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, then let Kevin have 4 or 3 minutes to just go by himself where he's the focus. So they all get their chance to be the focus of the offense. It's just in the fourth quarter, they need to figure out what they're going to do to have a more balanced attack. Because I would prefer, me personally, in the fourth quarter, I would prefer it to run through Kyrie. He's just a cold-blooded assassin, and in the fourth quarter, there's nobody. But there may be one or two other players, Steph Curry, included, and Kevin Durant, people like that, who can match his productivity in the fourth quarter. So I would prefer to go Kyrie.
Now, folks, this is coming from a biased Cavs fan here. So. No, good.
Wait. What are you? Have you not seen Kyrie's productivity?
I know. I'm just throwing.
Last year versus Spurs stood out to me. That's when I was like, dude, he is relentless going to the rim.
Right.
I remember that game. That's what always sticks out. That and the first game in the finals. Those 2 games.
I think obviously the biggest knock on Kyrie is his defense.
Yeah. Once
he can get to a marginal defender, we all remember Steph Curry couldn't guard anybody either. Now he's at least marginal enough that he can kind of get by, even though they still hide him. Lance, what do you think of the Cavs?
I mean, I never thought there was a threat of someone dethroning them in the East, honestly, even with Blatt. I mean,
who's going to beat them? Like I told you guys, I watched the last show, and a couple people had some brave ideas that the Raptors and
hey, I just throw it out there. Hey, you got to play devil's advocate.
I hear you, but listen, bro. There's nobody in the East touching them. Nobody.
Yeah. Hey, things can change. It could be like the We Believe series with Golden State and Dallas.
Hey, don't bring that up. Come on, man. Really, dude?
Hey, we all remember that.
Man, I especially. That hurts worse than the 06 finals, honestly.
Yeah. Matt, what you think, man? What do you got on the Cavs? Anything? Uh-oh. Matt, your audio's out, man.
You might have it on mute.
Check it out, see if you got it on mute.
So I'll speak for Matt. He's really excited for when the Cavs play the Bulls and we sweep them, since people think the Bulls can beat us in the playoffs.
Right. They're not. This ain't Tibbs. This is a whole different
regular season. So everybody gets excited about the regular season. I remember back when we played the Spurs in the finals, we beat them both times in the regular season, and what happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just have the Bulls number. It's
if you can unmute yourself real quick and click it and then look it back. You might have to pop out of the Hangout and pop back in real quick.
There it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
we got technical difficulties, but it's all right. We'll keep it going with the Cavs till Matt gets back in.
That's what he was gonna say. I mean.
Oh. Now with Chicago, they could make a move at the deadline. They really need to shore up help behind Derrick Rose to have a chance at the Cavaliers. I threw out the Toronto Raptors as being a threat to face the Cavaliers. I don't see anybody really making it to the finals unless the Cavaliers just get a flurry of injuries again or something of that nature.
Or even getting to 7 games.
I mean, if DeMar Carroll is healthy, I could see Toronto kind of going on a little bit of a run and outdoing Chicago as far as that next tier team.
I can see that.
I don't see anybody really legitimately challenging LeBron himself, let alone Kyrie Irving or Kevin Love if you add those two and they're healthy. Now, when you look at the Western Conference side of things, that's a whole different ballgame. But
we don't
Matt,
is it working now?
Yeah, you're good, man. All right,
I gotta respond to Brendan here. Hey,
right.
The Bulls are the only team that can give them a series. I'm not gonna say they'll beat them, but they can give them a series. They just, for some reason, it just seems like since LeBron's gone to the Cavs, the Bulls have their number. Last year, I know
they have our number. They haven't beaten LeBron in 6 years.
I'm saying with this cat, like last year they beat Powell. Now I know Kevin Love was out in the playoffs, but if Powell doesn't go down those two games, it's a series. I think the Bulls.
Cleveland was scared.
You forgot to mention Kyrie was like 40% that
That's
series.
okay though. That's okay though. They did beat. They did win in Cleveland with everybody healthy this
When?
year. I'm not saying they'll beat. They beat them.
Regular season.
Yeah, they beat them a couple weeks ago.
That's regular. That was Tyronn Lue's first game.
Oh,
It's okay though. It's all right though. But hey, what I was gonna say, I was gonna get on Tyronn Lue. I actually think he's gonna improve their team because the players trust him more. You can see it.
Yeah, and that was one thing I didn't touch on at
Yes.
the beginning, because I know you guys talked a lot about, you know, what the media has said about LeBron being a coach killer, and I don't really like to get into that stuff because we have no idea what really goes on behind the scenes. We don't know what media people are making up stories. We don't know who really said what. So I personally don't like to get into that stuff.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, but what I do know, based off actions on the floor, body language, the players did not respect Black, and that was evident. And that's not just LeBron. That's Kyrie. That's Kevin Love. That's everybody on down the line. They didn't respect him because he hadn't done anything to get their respect. Yeah, like his first comment after they won. I read this on an article on one of the Cavs sites. After he won his first game against the Bulls in last year, LeBron went and got the game ball, went to give it to him, and in the interview, David Blatt just kind of played it off like, "Oh, well, I've really won 700 games already. This isn't my first game." And it just like
because overseas counts
Yeah.
in the NBA.
Oh, thanks. Like,
that just puts people off a certain way. So I do agree with you guys that stuff was wrong from the very beginning with not communicating and things like that. But that's because that respect factor wasn't there. And you know, part of the thing was you know, Blatt wasn't calling people out in film sessions.
That's a big
Tyronn Lue, people thought that Tyronn Lue was going to be more of a yes man for LeBron. Tyronn Lue is the one who holds them accountable. He's the one calling them out in the film sessions, saying what needs to be said that Blatt wouldn't do.
Hey, everybody's got to remember too. Tyronn Lue played under Phil Jackson, and you know Phil Jackson doesn't give two damns who you are.
Yeah.
He will call. He's a lot like Pop. He will call that timeout up 20 to go right at Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant.
Phil
And
Jackson's
also,
coaching tree ain't that great.
Didn't Tyronn Lue, wasn't he an assistant under Doc?
Yeah.
So he's got the chops. You know, that seems to be the trend going with the coaches these days. These guys coming in, they're an assistant for a few years. They come right, you know, they're under these guys like Kerr was under Pop and Phil, and they're learning from these guys. And so you know, also being a player, you know, he's going to get the respect of the other guys. And I mean, what has he got? He's got 2 championship rings.
And he's gotten crossed
he's got
over
3.
by.
He's got 3. So you got to respect the guy.
Yeah, I personally don't agree with not firing Blatt. I don't agree with when they did it and how they did it. If they knew something was wrong a while ago or in this offseason, it should have been done then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not when we're 30-11.
You know, they really should have fired him halfway through last season.
And look, honestly, he didn't. This is not what he signed up for. They should have had a coach. They should have, like, they knew they were going to go for LeBron. They should have just waited until to see if they got LeBron to hire another coach.
And then let LeBron pick the coach, right?
Yeah, if you want to do it that way, because I mean, he was signed to coach a team that might make it to the playoffs but not contend. So
really though, I don't think the organization had any idea LeBron was coming back. And the reason I think that though is because people forget. We offered Gordon Hayward a max contract.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He was a restricted free agent, right?
Right. We
Yeah.
offered him a max contract. I really don't think they had any idea LeBron was coming back. Because you think if
They didn't.
they would have never done that.
Right.
Yeah. But wasn't Dan Gilbert in Miami meeting with him like a couple months prior? I know he had a meeting with him in Miami. I don't know when it was.
I thought Gilbert burned the bridge. I didn't think LeBron.
No, he flew to Miami and had a meeting with LeBron James, but I don't remember when it occurred. I don't know how you know, prior to them signing Blatt, how much that occurred. So he was definitely on the radar, but maybe they didn't think they had a chance.
will David Blatt get another chance as an NBA head coach, or
Yep.
do you think that he has to become an assistant for a little while, work his way back in as a head coach, or do you see him going back overseas? What do you guys think?
I think he'll get a chance. Whether or not he takes it, I don't know. This may have turned him off for good. He had plenty of success overseas, and he liked to make it known that he had success overseas. So I could definitely see him just going back there where he's comfortable, out of the limelight.
No, Brooklyn has basically the interim tag on Tony Brown. The rumors are out there that they want to get a GM hired before the trade deadline on the 18th. With that, the connection of Mikhail Prokhorov and David Blatt is there because David Blatt coached CSKA Moscow to the EuroLeague title with basically kind of a thin roster, I guess. And then again, he won it with Maccabi Tel Aviv. So having that winning pedigree, and then a couple foreign players in Bogdanovich and Karasev on Brooklyn, he might get a chance there.
But who really wants to coach Brooklyn right now?
Well, I mean, hey, you know what? If they can get rid of some guy, I mean, they got Lopez. He's a nice piece,
They don't have a draft pick until 2019.
Yeah,
That is gloom.
That's a problem. Well, hey, if they're willing to give Thibodeau player control, he may take the job because he was talking to Jeff Van Gundy, I think, and they said and that's what Thibodeau wants. If he'll get player control and head coach, he'd do it.
Dude,
So
I want Thibodeau to go to Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No.
Dude,
He's gonna run them. He's gonna run those dudes into the ground and
Dude.
injure. They'll be all hurt.
Come on.
Damn,
They had that
Wiggins and
Wiggins are going to have ACL tears.
Yeah, they'll be playing 45
But
minutes.
that's anybody. That's going to be anybody he coaches. But that's what. If you have a team that you think can take the next level, I think you should hire him.
I'd give him veterans. Let him coach the Lakers if they sign a bunch of people.
Lakers are they need to get their front office together, man.
Well, hey, you heard though that Genie is on the verge of firing Jim. He's gone.
Oh, about damn time.
Hell yeah, it is. He's terrible.
Over here trying to trade Russell, like really, dude?
Right.
Let him play.
Speaking of D'Angelo Russell, he's going to be part of All-Star Weekend as part of the World versus USA team. Those teams were announced. We kind of talked about them on the last show. More recent news with NBA All-Star Weekend, the Skills Challenge participants, I'm going to go event by event. The Skills Challenge participants were announced, officially finalized today. We've got basically the bigs versus the guards.
This is awesome.
So for the guards, you have last year's winner, Patrick Beverley of the Rockets, Isaiah Thomas of the Boston Celtics, Jordan Clarkson of the Los Angeles Lakers, and C.J. McCollum of the Portland Trailblazers.
Quickly, is this like small? Is this like kind of a team thing, or is it individual still?
No, what's rumored is it's going to be the guards go. Whoever wins out of the guards.
Okay, then they'll. Okay. I like that. I like
That's
that.
not bad.
The bigs, you've got versatile Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors,
Yeah, definitely.
Boogie Cousins of Sacramento Kings, Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans,
Okay.
and rookie sensation Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I like it. I think it gives the bigs a place to showcase their talent. I like it.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a fresh look at, kind of, to me, more of a stale event.
Yeah, it gets boring quick.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh because the bigs get a chance. Draymond Green's 6'6", 6'7". Anthony Davis basically was a guard until he sprouted in high school.
Yeah.
We know Boogie Cousins can handle the ball. So can Karl Anthony Towns. They both can shoot from the outside.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Say that. Say
Can we
that
make
again.
our pick to win?
Yeah, I was just about to say who. All right, so out of the four guards, who do you guys have out of Beverly, Thomas, Clarkson, and McCollum?
I got Isaiah.
I'm going with C.J. McCollum.
Yeah. All right, I'm going with the unpopular decision. I'm going with Beverly.
Represent
How
Texas.
that bastard won last year.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jordan Clarkson because I think his speed is gonna have a little bit of the difference
I think
there. He can shoot.
I think Isaiah is the best all-around player out of the four.
Yeah, Beverly definitely isn't fast, but
Yeah. For who you guys got for the bigs?
I got
Boogie Cousins.
Carl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Yes.
Who you guys got?
I don't know. I would take. I mean, I think this as much as I hate to pick anyone on the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
yeah.
It has to be Draymond.
Yeah.
Out of the group that's there, this event is made for him. Passing, shooting, dribbling.
Yeah, I'm going with Draymond too. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me.
God,
Right when you said his name.
My heart to say that.
See, I'm gonna pick the unconventional, picking Anthony Davis. I just think that this will be a confidence booster for him, kind of going back to New Orleans, get kind of the blood flowing again, get them in a surge if they can stay healthy for the second half of the season.
Now, will he be performing in a cast or?
Oh man, yeah, I
Damn.
don't know.
So overall, so who's your overall winner then?
Yeah, because the bigs got to face off against
Yeah.
the guard at the
Well,
end.
Draymond.
Like a 5-second advantage or something.
I'm taking I'm going with Carl Anthony Towns to win it. I know it's
Oh,
unconventional.
big man
I know
upset.
it's crazy, but I'm taking
Okay.
Carl Anthony Towns.
Well,
All right.
the guards selected aren't honestly like that impressive compared to what they usually pick. You know, like as point guards. I got
Thomas
Draymond.
is.
I got Draymond winning the whole thing.
I
Sad to say.
I would agree with that.
Okay, I'm gonna take Jordan Clarkson for the whole thing.
Uh-oh.
So,
Nice. Hey, you know what's crazy is 3 or 4 of us picked the big dude.
Yeah, which is a
That's
bad
all right.
sign.
Hey, never know though.
Yeah.
All right, the 3-point shootout got announced. I'm excited. This is my favorite event of the night.
Yes.
Of course,
So-
right.
Yes.
And I'm a shooter, so I got to go. All right, so we got defending champion Stephen Curry, his Splash Brother teammate Klay Thompson,
Man.
rookie sensation Devin Booker, Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks, Kyle Lowry, the hometown favorite for the Toronto Raptors,
Yeah.
James Harden, and J.J. Redick, who set the record for most three-pointers last year.
And Chris Bosh.
And Chris Bosh, yes.
Yes, Chris Bosh.
Matthew was blushing as soon as you said Reddick.
That's right. You know who my pick is.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea how Chris Bosh got in the three-point contest, but I think Kawhi Leonard should have been in there. But
Yeah. Or Doug McDermott.
Brendan, who do you got out of those guys winning it?
I picked J.R. Smith. Oh wait, he's not in there.
Oh,
No, I would pick him if he was in there because if he can get high, he can shoot with anybody. I don't know how you don't pick Steph with the year he's having. He could just throw it in the ocean blindfolded.
yeah.
From half court.
God,
He
like,
just does a rack of his eyes closed shooting. Just one
And the
rack
thing about it is, remember his dad played for Toronto as
Yeah.
he was a kid
Yeah.
and
And he
growing
shot
up.
in the-
So
yeah,
he
shot
knows
in the-
those rims.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the only way to make it fair, and I don't even know if this would make it fair, is if they make him shoot from the claw at half court.
Hey, you know I'm going with JJ. I went with Redick last year. I'm going with him this year. But I have to throw in a dark horse because I think that's fair. I think Lance knows who my dark horse is.
Booker.
Devin Booker.
Yes, right. Devin
I
Booker.
knew it. I knew it.
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, what you got, Lance? Who you picking?
Steph. I mean, I saw his name and I'm yeah.
How about this? See, most people would pick Stephen Curry, and that's an easy choice.
Right.
Who would your second guy be? Who would your dark horse be? I think that's a fair question.
All right,
Reddick.
Clay Thompson, and I don't even know if that's disrespectful to call him a dark horse, but
But hey, he's going against Stephen Curry.
yeah.
All right, set your. How about the better question? Set your finals matchup. Who are going to be?
It's 3 guys, right?
I think the finals is going to be 2. Unless they tie.
I thought they did. I thought because there's 8. I thought they did 3 because it's 3 because it was
I haven't
Steph,
watched it in a
Clay,
while.
and Kyrie last year.
They change it
It's
every
3.
year. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll go.
watch
Let's
it.
go with. I think we should go with 3 then.
All right,
That's what
that'll
it was
work.
last year. I'm going Steph, Reddick, and Booker.
Okay.
Hmm.
Clay, Riddick, Curry.
Curry, Reddick, Clay.
Yeah.
All right. I got Reddick. I'm going to go away from just because I think that somehow, some way, the NBA gods are not going to be helpful to him. I don't think Steph makes the finals.
Hey, you know what? Hey, that's not crazy because remember a couple years ago when he was in it, he didn't even make it.
Well, he wasn't what he is now.
Can we do a prop
He
bet?
was still the best shooter though.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to be the weird one and just say I don't think he makes the finals. So I'm going to say Reddick. I'm going to say Middleton and Clay.
Let me
Okay.
know how long
Who
that life raft lasts you in the middle of the ocean.
Who's your winner?
I want to say because I've always liked J.J. Redick. I'm going to stick with J.J. Redick.
Nice.
I've supported J.J. Redick. He's born the day
Nice.
before me, so
Yes.
Hey, his podcast, man.
so
Yes.
Coming.
All right. So the last event of the night, which is years and years, they've had to change the formats. Hopefully, they don't change it again. They just leave it alone. Let these guys dunk and be done with it.
They can go back to the wheel.
Yeah, that was the worst thing ever. The wheel, and then having Dr. J as a judge, that's even worse.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give any 8s or 9s or 10s or 6s.
No, he doesn't. Now, I did read this week that Tracy McGrady is going to be a judge for the dunk contest.
I like
What
that.
about Vince Carter, man?
I don't know.
Bro.
They usually don't do current players as
Oh,
judges.
he's still playing. I forgot. My bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. That's easy to forget.
All right, so the dunk contest has last year's winner, Zach LaVine, defending his title against Will Barton, Will the Thrill, Aaron Gordon, and Andre Drummond. Who
So
you guys got?
let's all be serious. Let's not play devil's advocate the first time around.
All right.
Is this really even a conversation?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be close.
Oh my
I'm
god!
gonna pick Aaron Gordon. Yes.
Drummond, though. Yeah,
I'm
I want to
picking
pick
Aaron
Aaron, but I haven't seen him dunk enough. Like, is he just like a power dunker? I don't.
Go to YouTube and watch the McDonald's All-American dunk contest.
I
He's got
cannot
some finesse
believe.
to him.
What is Drummond doing? Like,
Drummond is just basically a power dunker, and that's it.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's not Dwight Howard.
he's not flexible.
You know,
like
Will
Dwight.
Will
He doesn't-
Barton just has serious bounce, but I don't know how creative he is.
He's
He can get up.
he's got some dunks. I've seen some of his summer workout tapes, but the fact that any of you guys think anybody has a shot against Zach is a little.
No,
he's
I
gonna
mean
be
Zach
the
LaVine's
lead,
going to
right?
be the clear winner.
You know
I
what
mean,
though?
this is the only skill that Zach LaVine has.
Yeah. This is why he's in the
He has to
league.
shine somewhere. He can't run the point. He's a marginal shooter, so he has to be relevant. It's like Gerald Green years ago before,
Yeah.
he ended up out of the league. He went overseas, worked on his game, and came back, and he's at least a better all-around player.
He's a
That's
good player.
exactly
He's
what
good.
Zach LaVine is.
This is an
Gerald Green's
underwhelming list. It's a very underwhelming list, man.
I actually think Zach LaVine and Aaron
Andre
Gordon.
Drummond.
That's an underwhelming list, but Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon are going to put on a show.
DeRozan, you get your ass over there and you dunk that ball, DeRozan.
Well,
DeRozan.
the rumor was that they wanted to have Terrence Ross be in it, but he declined. So then they scrambled and got Will Barton.
Who are y'all to decline?
It's in Toronto.
You haven't won
And
anything. You win a dunking contest.
And Larry Nance Jr. was the other pick, but he got hurt, so the league had to pick another big. And they picked
Wasn't Daddy in the dunk contest?
Yeah, right.
Dad was in it.
Yeah,
with
I
the
think
plat-
he
Yeah,
won,
his
didn't
dad
he?
was. Yeah, like
he's got-
87 or
Yeah,
88.
Larry Nance Jr.
He was
has
like a
some
lanky
bounce.
ass dude, like his son, right? He's lanky. From
Yeah.
what I think I've seen the clips.
Yeah, Larry Nance was about 6'9", though. 6'2". He was pretty tall.
He was on that Dr. J long arms, like rubber bands.
Rudy Gobert.
Right. Well, real quick, we're going to switch it up from NBA because I know, Brendan, I know you don't have a lot of time, man. But I want to get your thoughts on this. We're going to switch real quick because this is the big weekend, Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
I want to get everybody's thoughts, who their picks are. What do they think of the criticism kind of going on right now with Cam Newton and everything? Brendan, I'm gonna let you go first, man.
I'll start off by saying I love Peyton Manning. I think he's only second to as a person and character-wise to Derek Jeter in all of sports. But Cam Newton and the Panthers are just steamrolling dudes right now in the playoffs, and I really don't see how a beat-up older Peyton can keep up with them. So my pick would be Carolina.
What's the score? What do you got?
Oh, God, I hate doing these.
I hate scores.
I know.
Damn it, Lance.
30-23.
Okay. All right, Lance, since you threw out the scorecard,
All right.
who you got and what's the score?
All right. So I guess I gotta wing it because I still don't know who's gonna win. I don't even have the slightest. I want to say I don't want to see Payne getting blown out. I don't want to see him get blown out in the Super Bowl again. I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like those New York Giants Patriots scores. It's gonna be like. I'm gonna give them benefit of doubt. 21-18 Panthers. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, and I don't think it's gonna be high scoring. I don't think Peyton just has that much left, man. But that Denver defense was good enough to beat the Patriots. Because honestly, if it wasn't for that defense, they would have lost. So, but
they got the number one defense.
But Cam Newton is just—he's like he said. You can't really compare anyone to him.
He's a
right
beast.
Now. Yeah. And their defense is really good, and I mean they just slaughtered the Cardinals. And I honestly picked the Cardinals to win that game, so I don't know much.
No, Carson Palmer was the quarterback.
So
right.
yeah, I got 21-18 Panthers.
All right, Matt, what you got, man?
I'm going 24-18 Broncos. The only reason why I'm going, you know why? Because all Peyton Manning has to do is have one last great game, and I think he's got it in him. I don't. That's the only reason I'm going with the. I think he's got one game.
I hope he does.
I hope he does.
I really do. And you guys think it's going to be pretty close, which is good because I think it's going to be close. It's not going to be a blow. Everybody's thinking, the Panthers are going to steamroll them. But remember when Denver played Seattle a couple years ago? Everyone thought Denver was going to win the Super Bowl. Seattle pounded them. They're not getting pounded this time. And Peyton Manning's got one game in him.
That was just one big blooper.
Yeah. Peyton Manning's got one game in him. I think he's going to do it. Go out on top. I mean, you don't want to drop to what would that make him? 1-3 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's going to win.
Finish 500, you know.
Yeah, I think he's going to do it because nobody thinks they can win. So I think they're actually going to win.
Now Carolina's got a strong defense, not as strong obviously as the number one defense in the NFL.
Right.
But I think that it's going to come down to. With Peyton Manning, he's going to have C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman helping him out at least to kind of change up the game plan, with the running game. Cam Newton is, basically right now relying on his speed and being able to steamroll defenses. He's not going to be able to do that against Von Miller and Denver. Right. So he's going to have to look to Greg Olsen and Ted Ginn Jr., which Ted Ginn Jr. has hit or miss games.
Right.
Greg Olsen, you can double him. It's very hard to, topple a top defense that basically made Tom Brady look like a marginal quarterback. With that, I will say I do think Carolina is going to win at 27-20, but it's going to be a dogfight for the first half. But I don't know that Denver can stop Cam Newton and just how much he can run over a defense. So I think Cam Newton's legs carry him to a championship.
Vince Young-esque.
I think
pretty much.
the only person you could really like compare him to size-wise as well as skill set, and obviously they're not close in comparison, but would be like Dante Culpepper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was big.
Yeah. Because he was 6'5", 250 or 260. He was a big boy. So.
Or you could go the guy from the Raiders that was really fat, that was like 300 pounds.
Oh no, not Jamarcus Russell.
Oh man.
Oh,
Come on. Hey, that's
don't
the biggest bust in the history of the NFL.
I know. Oh,
Jamarcus
LSU.
Russell was a bum.
Dude.
Yeah,
he was literally a big boy. Dude was huge. He's like 300 pounds.
Hey.
Dude.
I thought he was gonna come in and be like Vince Young times like 3, but that didn't happen. He was a bum.
Poor Vince Young.
All right, well, speaking of bums, we're going to get back to the NBA.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Lance's favorite team to talk about.
Wow, so how are they bums?
No, not Dallas, not your favorite team. I was trying to be sarcastic there.
Okay.
The Phoenix Suns.
Oh, no. Markieff Morris finally had a good game. We're going to talk about him. All right.
They fired Jeff Hornacek after 2.5 seasons. They deliberated between 3 assistants, Corey Gaines, Earl Watson, and I can't remember how to pronounce the other assistant's name. They ended up, picking Earl Watson, former NBA point guard. He played for the Jazz, the Sonics, a couple other teams. Pretty heady point guard, able to kind of run offenses. Very good IQ. Basically, first thing he said is we want to make Markieff Morris the first scoring option for the team. They lost T.J. Warren to a broken foot. He's out for the season. And they're trying to really showcase Devin Booker and kind of show the world what he has. What do you guys think of Phoenix's chances the rest of the season? Do you see them kind of selling the team away, basically trading away Tyson Chandler, some other veteran pieces, and going, basically with a young team, Archie Goodwin and Devin Booker, and going that route? Or do you see them kind of turning around, having a decent second half of the season under Earl Watson?
I'll start. It's still a fire sale, man. Fire sale. I mean, you want Markieff Morris to play good so his value can go up. Because honestly, it wasn't up because he was a disgruntled employee. I haven't really been watching him that much, but I know he didn't put up any game like he just did recently.
Right.
He had one the other day where he had, I think, 29.
And Tyson Chandler, honestly, man, that contract now, I mean, even with the contracts going up, that's still a bad contract.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to be really desperate to trade for him. It would have to be a one player away from the finals team to trade for that contract, honestly. So, and like y'all been talking about Devin Booker, I finally saw myself him play a great game the other day. You're not gonna trade him away. That'd be dumb. Bledsoe's hurt too, right? So they can't trade.
He's done for the year.
But
Right.
yeah, I think they trade.
Brandon Knight.
Yeah, they trade him, which is crazy because he cannot stay on a team to save his life.
Right.
Which is no insult to his own.
He is. He's kind of like a positionless guy. Like he's not.
Right.
He's good,
He's not
though.
a point guard, but he's not a
Right.
he's not a 2 guard.
Right.
He's good. It's just everywhere he goes, it just seems to.
You know what he is? He's a 6 man.
Yeah. Why not embrace
Absolutely.
He's a 6 man.
And he was a better fit with Milwaukee. And where
Yes.
Milwaukee is, if Milwaukee had Brandon Knight right now and they had Zaza Pachulia instead of Greg Monroe and Mike Carter-Williams, they would be top 5 in the East, no question.
Yes.
That's what I thought. They were going to be top 4 this year, and that didn't.
They might be top 3.
Matt, I'm gonna let you jump in on the Suns real quick before I.
I agree with Lance. I think it's I think they got it. They're going to trade. They're going to make all the moves they can. If they can move Tyson, they will. You got. I think you keep Archie Goodwin. Actually, I think he's a nice little piece there. I mean, you saw what he did. Was it last night or the night before? He gets the 19 points, the 11 assists. He's got a nice skill set. Got to improve his outside game, but he can be a good defender. He's got some length on his arms. He can move. Obviously, Devin Booker's fantastic. That if they trade him, there's something wrong. Because that dude, like, I think you got to, like, when you look at Booker just turned 19 a couple months ago, he's going to be better than Klay Thompson. I don't think that's crazy.
Whoa.
No,
Right.
he's way more athletic than
He's got
I
a better
thought
ball
he was.
handle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't watched enough of him to even.
and he can actually move his feet on defense.
Right.
He gets to the position. He gets beat because he's 19, and
Right,
these guys are veterans and they know how to do the little tricks. But then Alex Len, I think, is a keeper piece, and I actually think Earl Watson's a good coach.
Yeah.
I
think
actually,
Earl Watson's going to hold them accountable.
yes, absolutely, and I think everybody else, if you can move them, move them. See what pieces you can get.
That forward they have that came from Texas, I saw that he is on the trading block for sure.
PJ Tucker.
Yeah, he is definitely on the trading block. That I read.
So is Markieff Morris.
Well, yeah, he's been on there this whole.
That's why. That's the only. In all honesty, I think they want Booker to be the number one guy, but you got to make Morris the number one guy to increase his value.
I think with what happened with Morris, you got to go on now because
he wants out.
Well, Ryan McDonough he went on the interview yesterday or the day before and said that Devin Booker's basically untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not going anywhere because he's the franchise. He named Alex Len, Archie Goodwin, Devin Booker, and
T.J. Warren.
T.J. Warren as basically the core going forward. And I thought it was interesting. He didn't name Eric Bledsoe or Brandon Knight, who are your two, more star-esque names.
I mean, in all honesty, as good as Booker is, those are probably the two best guys on the team right now.
Right.
Right.
And he didn't name them, so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you either got to unload Brandon Knight or you got to unload Eric Bledsoe because you've got Goodwin and you've got Booker as your two guards, both starting and/or coming off the bench, one or the other. Which I think you start Booker and you let Goodwin come off the bench as a scoring option. Or start Booker and Goodwin comes off the bench as a scoring option. You've got T.J. Warren coming off the bench as a scoring option next year.
Yeah. And that's not to count that they could get a draft. I mean, you're probably going to get Ingram, maybe Ben Simmons in there.
Right.
Or your guy, what is it, Chris Dunn?
Oh,
they got
Dunn. Yeah.
They got the fourth worst record in the league right now, right?
Which means they're going to get a top 2 pick, I think. They're going to get a top 2 or 3 pick.
Yeah.
I don't
So why
think they'll
would
get
you
fourth.
want to win anyway? Just keep losing
No, you
at
don't.
this point.
You want to lose.
Yeah, just keep losing.
And Lance, like you said, I mean, there's no way you don't move on from Markieff Morris. I mean, all the negative publicity around that.
Yep.
I mean, you can't have that. Tyson Chandler was supposed to be the savior of the locker room as a leader, but he just doesn't have it. Out on the court, you can just see every minute he's wincing and he's not happy being the veteran role in on a losing team, basically. And you need to get him somewhere where it have a winning record. It's basically, his last 2 seasons that he's going to have basically in the NBA. Put him on a winning team. And so I don't know with Phoenix that they sell most of their team, but they're going to look at the veteran pieces like PJ Tucker is going to be gone. Yeah. I think you got to either think about Bledsoe or Knight, and then of course Tyson Chandler and Markieff Morris are pretty much out of there. Now to get rid of Chandler, you're probably going to have to package him with someone else like a Brandon Knight or something along with it to get that contract kind of rolled out. But Phoenix needs to use this year as experience for Booker and Goodwin. Let Earl Watson coach through mistakes, get better and better. And if he's not brought back next season, if they get somebody else, then he at least can be a higher profile assistant somewhere.
Interesting. What would you think if they could make a move and get maybe, because Jeff Teague's been talked about being moved, or maybe Schroeder if they decide to go that route? Would you take one of those guys?
Well, Schroeder, Atlanta's not unloading.
They're not going to move. So would you take Teague?
I wouldn't take Teague because to me, I would rather have Brandon Knight over Jeff Teague.
He can shoot better, right? Not Teague, but Knight. He shoots better than Teague. Teague probably commands a point a little better.
See, that's why I say that, because Teague's a little better at that. He's actually a point guard. He can run the show better.
I've seen some really head-scratching games from him turnover-wise, though. But, I mean, it happens. But
yeah. I mean, you see that from Curry all the time with some of the crazy turnovers.
Yeah. but yeah, we see.
I mean, you got to look at. I mean, there's teams out there that, Houston was looking at Markieff Morris for Terrence Jones and Corey Brewer. I don't think that helps either team at all.
No, not at all.
That's disrespectful to Markieff Morris.
Ryan Anderson was a name that got thrown out to Phoenix. He would basically, he can shoot and he would be a top option, but
it's not going to make
not
him win
gonna do
right now.
anything.
No,
Right.
and he wouldn't want. And that's probably at this point in his career, he's been in the league 7 years. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to go to Phoenix.
Right. And then, I mean, my hometown team, the 76ers, there's no real fit for, Markieff is from, Philadelphia originally, but I don't want him on Philadelphia.
That's too toxic, man.
They've got too many guys at that position.
And Okafor's already mad too, so you don't.
Right.
Well, I'm not gonna say he's mad, but he's already had incidents of,
Frustration.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I think you have to break up, Okafor, Noel, Saric, and Embiid. I mean, there's no way you can play all four at the power forward and center.
Yep.
So I think you either got to decide now between Noel and Okafor.
Right.
To me, if the Sixers could trade Okafor, and I'll take back, Alex Lynn, and I'll take,
Brandon Knight.
somebody that's Brandon Knight and Alex Lynn for Okafor, because
That's
you can play Alex Lynn at the four.
And that actually probably helps both teams.
Hey,
Right.
You get the point guard, and you got Brandon Knight and Len. He helps, in Philadelphia, he'll help run the team. And then in Phoenix, you get Okafor. You got the inside-outside game with Booker.
Right. And then you could, if you're Phoenix, right after that, you can deal Tyson Chandler and Markieff Morris or something. And then you've got Okafor, Booker, Warren, and Goodwin as your pieces going forward.
Plus their pick this year.
Hey,
Right.
did y'all see that? I just saw it not too long before we started the show. There's a rumored trade that Nets would trade.
Brandon Jennings and
for
Thaddeus
Brennan.
Young.
Yeah.
And Thaddeus Young, yeah.
I don't know about
I
that.
didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think that actually helps Detroit.
For them, yeah. But I mean, at this point, well, it helps the Nets too, because
They don't have a point guard.
yeah, I mean they got Shane.
Shane Larkin.
Shane Larkin, no. Man, he's definitely somebody that's gonna be out of the league.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed with Shane Larkin, because I know you saw him at Miami, and he in that tournament a few years, he looked like this guy is going to be a really good NBA player.
I hate saying people are too small.
Yeah.
But he's too small, and he doesn't do anything well enough to get over that.
He looked like a guy who could be a DJ Augustine type of player.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He never turned into that.
And with the Mavs, he didn't really get that much of a chance because Carlisle don't play that. You don't play rookies.
No.
Justin Anderson knows this. So when you are in there with Carlisle, you're kind of hesitant because you're like, oh, well, if I mess up,
He's yanking me.
Bitch.
Yeah.
So it's hard. That's why. And who the hell wants to watch the Nets games? I barely do. I love their broadcast, but I just can't stand their product. I love the broadcast. I like the setup, presentation.
I mean, the only thing they've got is Lopez.
Right.
And I actually
should
think
be on a winning team.
I actually think he's a tad bit overrated.
He is good though.
He's good he's a very good offensive big man.
Yeah.
Defensively, rebounding, not so much.
But his foot is a liability too.
Yeah.
He's hurt.
The good thing for the Nets is that Wayne Ellington, Shane Larkin, Andrea Bargnani, and Thomas Robinson, they're all basically going to opt out after this season. So
yeah.
The Nets don't have to suffer through Shane Larkin. Jared Jack's going to be coming back from the ACL injury, so he probably won't come back until January or so.
They can
maybe
overpay.
February.
They can overpay and get Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, I mean,
hey. Golden State's going to save him in case they need to do a sign and trade with OKC.
Oh.
They're going to save that, absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and just segue right into
Yeah.
some trade options and stuff like that. So it's one of the topics we had on our list. So go ahead and run with that, Matt. What do you think? Yes, the rumors out there that Golden State is going after Kevin Durant. So are the Lakers. So are the Knicks. So are the
Everybody, basically
Wizards.
every team in the league.
Basically. realistically, not who you think you want him to go to. Realistically, what do you think happens with Kevin Durant?
Honestly, it's hard to say now because it depends on how they do this year. Like if they're, if they most likely they're going to play the Spurs or the Warriors, and Warriors will get the ones. They're going to play the Spurs in the second round of the playoffs. They lose to the Spurs, I think he's gone. And I think we know Harrison Barnes is a free agent. So if you're Golden State, you're going to package it. You'll probably package a couple guys. And I think that would make the most sense for OKC. Get someone like Harrison Barnes back, who's a good player, and if you put him in a more featured role, he could probably get you 20 points a game, and that would probably even help Russell Westbrook more because he can dominate even more, not having to worry about giving the ball to Kevin Durant a lot. So I think that would be the most realistic trade. I've heard, I've heard Blake Griffin for. Kevin Durant, which I guess would make sense too for Oklahoma City because you get that's the best player you'll get in a trade. So it would make sense if you're going to lose Kevin Durant, why not get Blake Griffin? That would make a lot of sense to me. I think most people would say that, but those are the only really trades I could see making any sense for Oklahoma City if you're going to lose him. And all this I think would take place in the offseason. I don't think I don't think you see him get traded at the deadline. Because they've got a shot. I mean, realistically, they have a shot to get to the. No, they're not going to trade him now because they got a shot still to be champions. A small shot, but they still have a chance. So I think you wait. But I think either the Clippers, if you're going to do a trade, the Clippers or the Warriors. I mean, maybe he goes to the Lakers, maybe he goes to the the Wizards or the Knicks, but I don't think so.
I don't think anyone will go to the Lakers until, like I said, the front office and
and Byron Scott.
Yeah. Well, Byron Scott's leaving as soon as Kobe leaves the door.
They kind of said, they said he's done at the end of the year.
He's the tank coach because he likes to bring his players down and make them feel like crap.
Yeah, and tell D'Angelo Russell you got benched because you were trying to do too much. You thought you were Kobe, so I'm going to sit you on the bench, and we're the worst team in the NBA.
Right.
I'm serious. They're worse than the Sixers.
And the funny thing is with the Lakers, did you guys read about that battle with between Byron Scott and former NBA player Don McClain?
I saw that. Yeah,
that was funny.
They got back and forth, and McClain had a good point. I mean, if you're already that bad, what's it going to hurt to play D'Angelo Russell? And basically, Byron Scott's stubborn, and I just think his ego is so far, up above everybody that
he went to back-to-back finals because of Kidd.
No, not because the Eastern Conference was so weak then. If you won 30 games, you were in the playoffs.
I mean, hell, David Black could have got that. He got the Cavaliers.
You know what's fun? I was telling my dad this the other day, or maybe it was I can't remember what day it was, but I just D'Angelo Russell, what number 2 pick in a draft goes to a horrible team, probably the worst team in the league, and gets benched. You don't ever see that.
And it's not even anything he did or didn't do. I mean, he came out, he was overwhelmed. He's a 2-guard playing the point for the first time, basically. I think long-term he fits better as a 2-guard. But, try to mold him into a point guard. I mean, he's going to be hopefully a centerpiece for the Lakers moving forward. Because Kobe's on his way out. Yeah. They have to have somebody to mark it behind. You can't mark it behind, Julius Randle. Yeah, you can't mark it behind Randle. You have a marginal player in Larry Nance Jr. Yeah, he's a feel-good story. Right. But they don't have anything else on the team that you can market around. Yeah.
And Russell, I think Russell's going to be a good NBA player.
Dude, they try to compare him to Magic Johnson right when he was getting drafted. I was like, why are y'all doing this to this dude?
Right.
They set him up for failure.
They said he's the best passer they've seen since Magic Johnson. I'm like, dude.
Hey, you know what? He can. Hey, his vision is off the charts. I think his vision is off the charts.
Steve Nash. I know people like to look over. Come on, we've seen some really Jason Kidd. I mean,
hey, Steph Curry can pass the ball.
When I heard that, I was already eye rolling. I was just like, y'all are setting this kid up to tear him down
But
again.
but in the defense of everybody who remember when ESPN came out with that stat that he had the highest percentage to be a superstar, but also the highest percentage to be a bust. Yeah.
Well, because he has the highest upside, but that's why everyone was saying Okafor is a safe pick.
Yeah, and it
You know
was.
what he
They
is.
should have went. Yeah.
But he
Hey,
doesn't
you know-
have much of an upside, which upside is hard to scale,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. I actually think Okafor is going to be a perennial all-star guy. Not this. Maybe he makes it one or two. No, Okafor is going to be a really good player.
I do too.
Well, he's in the East. He's the dominant big man in the post. He's like pretty much most rookie big men. He struggles on defense.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Right.
But
So
you know what he does? Like everybody compares him to Al Jefferson, but Okafor can actually put the ball on the floor.
Right.
He can actually handle it.
Yeah, if you watch him, most of his offensive moves are he catches it, while he's got the defender on his back. He turns, palms the ball because he's got huge hands.
Yes.
Right.
And crosses the guy over and goes right to the rim.
Mm-hmm.
And
He doesn't have a set post-up game.
And from what the small sample size that I've watched him play, I know it sounds crazy, but he looks better playing out of double teams than Blake Griffin does.
Mhm.
Blake Griffin turns crazy when he gets double teamed. He does some of the most awkward, passes or shots in a double team.
Yeah.
And if you can play out of a double team, that's already a great sign as a player. And he's a rookie, so.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I think with Okafor, and Blake Griffin may actually be a good example because Griffin can cross you over.
Right.
If Okafor can get a mid-range shot, he may actually have that typical kind of stretch mentality, and then you can actually keep him and Embiid because Embiid can knock down the 15, 16-footer as well. Now, we haven't seen Embiid play in 3 years, but at the same time, he was dominating from what everybody said, private practices, that they were having against NBA talent. But, we just never know what's going to happen. But, I think that everybody says that the big men, of the era are dead. I don't think so. You got Karl Anthony Towns, Porzingis, Okafor, Anthony Davis. You have
Cousins,
Jokic, Cousins.
Well,
a lot of big men that can.
Yeah.
Really
Hey, here's
stretch
another
the
one.
floor.
Here's another one on your little list. I know it's gonna take it maybe a little bit longer. Even Bobby Portis. I think Portis is going to be really good.
He's just, to me, the only knock against him is he's undersized. But
He's about what 6'10".
I'd say he's more like 6'8".
He doesn't look
Unless
it.
it's
Yeah.
6'10". I'd say
He looks.
about
I mean, when I went to the game a few weeks ago, I guess he looked tall to me. He looked like a legitimate 6'10".
Okay.
Yeah, he looked tall, and he didn't look like a small guy. And he plays.
But he hustles.
Yeah.
He's better. He's got a better. I think his progress is better than Nikola Mirotic at this point.
Oh, wow.
Nico's out for a
Hey,
while,
man.
man. That
I
sucks.
just hope Justin Anderson can be a rotational player on the Mavs roster.
Not this year. I'm not saying because he sucks, but Carlisle, rookies.
Well,
he's gonna sit bench.
when they got this pick, I was like, who is this dude? And I did my studies. He shot like 42 or something percent from three, but I believe he didn't play as many games as he did like in his previous years.
Right.
So that's why the percentage looks so spiked up.
Yeah.
Right.
He can play though. Justin Anderson has a nice game,
Yeah,
and he can really defend.
In the summer league and preseason, he looked great. But
And
playing
he's
against-
huge.
Yeah, he had some great, good shooting nights. He had.
They just knocked him.
Yes.
That's my brother right there, guys.
Oh, that's all right.
Photo bomb.
Yeah. But what was I saying? He looks good, but he doesn't. He's so hesitant. It's like he has eyes on the back of his head looking at Carlisle every time he's about to do something.
You know what that sounds like? Doug McDermott last year with Thibodeau. Every
It's a
time he
thing,
does
though.
something, like he thinks he's going to get yanked, which happens to when young rookies and second-year players are on really good teams like the Mavericks, the Bulls, and they
Right.
make a mistake, they typically do get yanked because they can't afford the mistakes. You know,
No.
you're not going to let a young guy play through his mistakes. He's coming out, and so they
Yeah.
know that if I turn the ball over once, I'm coming out.
But
Yeah, I
that's
thought
what's
he was-
hard about being a rookie, man.
It's not hard if you're on a bad team, unless you're D'Angelo Russell. It's okay.
Well, because then you got an idiot as a head coach.
Yeah,
But
but I
that's-
mean, if you're a good rookie like a McDermott or an Anderson, and you're on
Right.
a team who's a playoff team, your
Right.
leash is going to be very short.
I think
But
the
that
big-
that could be bad when you move on to another team because they're about, oh, well, you're just not. No, it's because circumstances, you know?
Yeah.
That's why it's just all about getting in the right system.
with
Absolutely.
Anderson, he's more of a small forward, obviously, because he's huge, but he
Yeah.
can play the two. They
Right.
they need. I mean, you got Wesley Matthews at the two, but Wesley Matthews isn't going to be there 3 years from now as a starter.
Wow.
You know, I think that he would be somebody because of his age
Yeah.
and the injury slowing him down. I think he'll turn into still a good player. I just think he'll be more of a six-man role as the shooter.
Oh, I thought you were
and
saying
things like that.
trade him or.
No. He would. He's just
Or
not
he'll
gonna
be, or
in
he'll
the
be,
starting.
or he'll be a trade chip for a championship team.
right.
as a-
and
Well,
so
hopefully
next
we're that
season,
championship team in 3 years.
Yeah,
You can slide
that's
Justin
tough.
Anderson in at the two.
Yeah. I think even Lance understands that in 2 years the Mavericks probably aren't going to be a contender.
And when Dirk leaves, I'm scared.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be rough. I think that kind of with Dallas, they've got to find that identity going forward. Go ahead and start preparing for Dirk. Yeah, he's going to play next season likely.
Yep. He'll play out his contract.
Next season needs to be your year that someone steps up, whether Parsons takes a big leap,
Hey.
or someone comes to that team that's not there now that can lift that team up to the upper echelon, because Darren Williams is eventually going to be gone. You got Wes
he's
Matthews.
Yeah.
He's going to transition more into a bench role if he's not moved to a contender. Chandler Parsons can't be your number one option.
No, he's 2 or
And
3.
Z-Patch is no spring chicken.
Right, and
Yeah, but-
Zaza Pachulia is up there in age too, so
Yeah, and the Mavs, they have a tendency, like they did with Aminu, they're probably gonna let him walk, and I hate to say it, but they're gonna let Pachulia leave. I know they are.
He's going to demand a contract.
But they
And-
said they want Dwight Howard, but not at max money. I just read that on the.
Yeah, that means Dwight. Well, I don't think anybody gives Dwight Howard max money. That
no,
dude is
I don't think he is
No.
a max player. No,
And you know
injuries,
what?
an ego or two.
Hey, look, man. I know people like to crap on him, but I might take him.
well, because he's the only thing you can get.
But
I would rather.
but
You're looking
Carlisle,
at Dwight
though,
Howard.
yeah.
I would rather develop Salah Mejri
He's 30.
and let
That's-
him.
You can't do. He's 30.
He's 30.
They got a bunch of old
I
guys
looked
on
at
the
his
team.
age. I was like, how is he a rookie? He's 30. He's like Brandon Whedon in the NBA or something. I was so
Sabonis.
pissed. Yeah, the Mavs are just
You
going
know what they need to do next year? I know it'll be Dirk's last year. Tank.
trade Dirk to a contender?
No, tank.
No,
Trade
hell
to a contender.
no.
Trade Dirk to a team who's going to win. Tank. Get some draft picks the next couple. I mean, you're going to have to build. What free agent is going? I mean,
Hey, they have.
what free agent is going to? But
Durant's
because
coming.
I really like Chandler Park. I actually think, and call me crazy, Lance, you're going to probably love this. I actually think Chandler Parsons is very Draymond Green-like in the skill set.
Actually, yeah, he can handle
He's
the
actually-
ball.
he's bigger,
He
and he's
can
bigger.
Florida.
And his shot is getting better, although I
Yeah.
still hate its form. But Marion,
It's because you know why the thing with Chandler Parsons, he gets here and he kind of hesitates and it's like out.
Right.
It's ugly.
It's like a hitch.
Hey, his
Yeah,
pump
he's got a
hey,
big
his
hitch.
pump fake is deadly though.
He's got the best
Yeah.
pump fake in the league.
That pump fake is sick.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
I don't understand that for a guy who has a hitch
almost-
jumper. Why does his pump fake
It's
work?
almost a travel. It's almost
Right.
a travel. That's how good it is.
No, you got Satnam Singh in the D League. You can always.
Satnam Singh.
Bro.
Hey, if the Mavericks' hopes are if they're relying on Satnam Singh, they're in trouble.
Hey, I've had to suffer through. Well, I don't want to say suffer. That's mean, but I've had to sit through D League games, and I rarely see his number called, dude.
Yeah.
Don't even. My grandpa was like,
He's in
"Oh."
or something like that.
My grandpa was like, "He was shooting well on TV." I was like, "Yeah, they probably edited it and made him look better."
He's terrible.
I don't want to be mean, because he was. I mean, it was not his fault he got drafted, but they did it for publicity, dude. I know they
basically.
did.
Yeah, it's basically like the
guy in Sacramento.
Sim Bueller.
Yeah. Symbol. Yeah.
It's like having the great Khali in wrestling.
Hey, he was champion.
Yeah, that was not shouldn't have happened. But
Did
He
you
could barely walk.
yeah, he looked like he would break if you drop kicked him in his legs.
All right, switching topics. Let's go. Let's stay in the Eastern Conference real quick. Manu Ginobili, it was just announced that he has to have testicular surgery,
I feel for that.
and
Man.
basically he'll be sidelined at least 4 weeks. Basically, he collapsed on the court in the fourth quarter. Basically, he got kneed in the groin area by Ryan Anderson. So Ryan Anderson did get whistled for an offensive foul in that play, but basically with Ginobili out and Tim Duncan pretty much hit or miss on if he's going to play most games, does this really impact San Antonio moving forward?
Maybe a little. Maybe a little. Because the next guy's always ready to step up. And I think in if they didn't have a guy like what's the young kid's name, the kid from UCLA.
Oh, Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson. Yeah. I think that's big minutes for him now. I think he takes that role, and he's got a really nice skill set. He's 6'9".
Yeah,
he's young.
He seems like he plays versatile.
Yeah, he's very. He ran the point at UCLA at 6'9". Okay. So I think I actually think this may be a blessing for them to get him some good minutes.
I don't know, because at the beginning of the year I thought that Kyle Anderson, they were going to look to develop him, and he's going to get all the backup small forward minutes. I think because of San Antonio and Popovich being Popovich, he lets Rasul Butler get some playing time. Yeah. And I think that because he's been so high on Jonathan Simmons this season, I think some of those minutes go to him, and Rasul Butler gets the first crack.
Yeah. And Rasul Butler can really shoot the ball.
Danny Green's got to step up.
Yeah, he's been awful.
Earn his money.
He's been really good defensively.
But the main reason
that suffered? Yeah, because he can really shoot the ball.
He can really shoot, and that's not what he's doing.
No.
And I'm really high on him, and I was high on him because he really could have went somewhere else and got a lot more money.
Yeah. Is it fair to ask though? He got a decent what's he getting? $12 million?
Yep.
Is it fair to ask he got a decent contract and now he's not as focused? Is that fair?
I don't want to put him in that because he doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
He doesn't, but
that would be unfair.
What happened? Is he just
Yeah.
Is he just in a season-long shooting slump?
That's what it is. He's gonna have to do something because
and you know what? I think in fairness to Danny Green, he's not known as one of the elite shooters like Redick or Curry or Klay Thompson. So, if he has a few bad, that may affect him more than a guy like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson.
It's a mental thing with him. I think. It's just
right
because he's not letting it affect his defense, which is good. He's one of the better defenders at that position in the league.
He basically is in a shooting funk, and I think that's all it is. Basically, his confidence is broken on offense, kind of like Jimmer Fredette. Basically, he came out as a decent shooter, and we see where he went.
Is obliterated.
Shout out to Jimmer though. He did make the D-League All-Star 3-point contest. So.
Jimmer did shoot the ball well in Sacramento, just limited appearances, and last year in New Orleans he was awful.
He didn't
17%.
Yeah.
So. But I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
That's a big injury for Ginobili, man. I like to clown to him because lately he doesn't look all there sometimes.
It's a big injury because it's his age.
Right.
Yeah, because how can you come back from that?
Yeah, he's 30.
Thing is though with the Spurs, they've been able to hide Tim Duncan not being there because Boban. Janovic has basically been a beast in limited minutes. He still did not get voted to the world team
even after Nico going out.
Disrespectful.
They put in Trey Lyles of the Utah Jazz because he's Canadian. So I just don't understand it. But
that's Spurs,
where's the love for Boban?
I know.
Yeah, man.
We need to get a hashtag free Boban.
That's right.
Oh, I don't know if he wants to leave San Antonio.
Well, I wanted to talk about
The Gremlins got him.
Oh, Pete.
because going into the half, the Knicks are getting stomped by Detroit,
Yeah.
58-35.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we're not even going to touch on that game.
was
So
me.
let's rewind to last night's action. Let's start with the Golden State Warriors and the Washington Wizards. Steph Curry, man, he's in another world. 51 points by Steph Curry. I mean, everybody was hashtagging and everything on Twitter thinking that he was going to break the record of 12 threes by the legendary Donyell Marshall
Yeah.
and Kobe Bryant, but he didn't quite get there. He hit 11 out of 16. So he had 51 points. He basically carried the Warriors. But Washington, John Wall is basically the only thing that Washington has. 41 points.
Well, Bradley Beal was decent. He's just always hurt, and he's on a minutes restriction.
Right.
But Wall was next level compared to all his teammates, pretty much.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
no one's-
Well, you
no
know
one's even-
what's funny? Devin Booker, and I got to bring up Booker again. He's becoming what Bradley Beal was supposed to be.
Right. Well, they can.
Like, when you really think about it.
They were
You're
comparing
right.
him to Ray Allen.
Yeah.
At
And
one
Booker's
point.
becoming what Bradley Beal was supposed to be.
Right.
Let's just hope Booker stays healthy.
Yeah, it's true. The Cavaliers played, of course. They went down to the Charlotte Hornets. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is back and has made a huge impact on the team. I mean, he's out there. He's basically playing almost 40 minutes a game. You know, he's scoring double figures. He's rebounding in double figures, and he's just an impact on defense.
Are they playing him in? Are they playing him and Batum together, or is Batum coming off the bench?
No, Batum's playing the 2.
Oh wow! I didn't think they did
So
that.
they've got Cody Zeller back. He's playing center. You've got Marvin Williams.
Yeah. So MKG is the 3.
Yeah, MKG is the small forward. Last night, Kemba Walker did not play. He had a sore left knee, but Jeremy Lin stepped up for 24 points and 8 assists. But basically, Charlotte is going to be a team to watch in the first round as an upset candidate because you've got Gilchrist and Batum being able to play defense. You've got Kemba Walker, and you've got some pieces around that.
Yeah.
Spencer Hawes is rejuvenated.
Kaminsky.
Charlotte. Kaminsky. Solid.
I didn't think Kid Gilchrist would be back this soon.
He was supposed to be out for the year.
That's what I'm saying. That's when they said he was coming back.
You know what? I think it's fair. Like what MKG brings to the ball club, he's actually kind of like a second point guard. He's more of a point. He can play that point forward role. He really passes the ball. He can handle.
It seems like he can
can't
do a lot
shoot.
of other
That's
things.
his problem. He does everything really good but shoot. He's an outstanding defender. He can really pass. He can handle the ball. He's got length. He can. I mean, he's one of the better, defenders at his position in the league too. The dude is a lot of people think he was a bust. Man, that guy can play. He's not a bust.
He's just not. He
doesn't score a lot of points.
Yeah,
Right.
But he's solid.
Yes.
And he
I think
worked
it was
with-
fair when they compared him to Scottie Pippen. I actually think those comparisons are fair, in a sense. Not as good offensively, but everything else, the guy can play. He's good.
He had trouble, obviously, with his shot mechanics.
Yeah.
Mark Price was hired 2 seasons ago to work with him. He changed that up. He worked with him in the offseason.
Yeah.
He got the shoulder injury. He's coming back. You can just see the confidence that he brings to that team.
And they're
Everybody's
already
gelling
surprisingly
together. Charlotte's in 9th right now in the Eastern Conference.
What, a game or 2 back?
They're a game and a half back of Detroit, the Pistons.
Wow.
And they
Like we
slid.
talked about last show, the 7th and 8th spot are going to be fluctuating pretty much between the Pacers, Pistons, Hornets, and you might have a case for
The Knicks.
the Knicks sliding in
Pacers?
there, but they're 3 and 7 in their last 10. So
Dude.
Man, the Knicks have been in a lot of these games. They're just losing down the stretch.
right. Last night's action, pretty much The Sixers lost again. What's new?
Don't worry,
Yeah.
man. Y'all win soon. Y'all got Colangelo now.
Well, they got blown out 124-86 by the Hawks,
Oh.
and the Sixers let Tim Hardaway Jr. put up 13, 7, and 4.
But you know what? In a bright side for the Stauskas looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's finally starting to string some good games together. He had 17 points, which for him I think is a season high actually.
That's big if they can get that from him.
Yeah,
Because he's capable of doing that every game.
and they're actually turning Isaiah Cannon into a decent shooting guard because they're basically letting him fire away from three.
Yeah,
So
Isaiah Cannon, the two
that.
guard.
You didn't
Yeah,
even want to
They're
say
letting him
that.
shoot those cannonballs.
yeah,
Cannon.
he's basically jacking threes up at will.
Mm.
The Nets lost again. Basically, that's going to be a theme all season. I want to talk about the battle of OKC and the Magic. Russell Westbrook put on a show. 24 points, 19 rebounds, 14 assists. But Kevin Durant, as normal Kevin Durant does, stole the show. Crossover at the end of the game. After the huge block on Oladipo by Serge Ibaka, Durant comes down, crosses over the defender, pulls up from three, hits the game winner, game over.
You got to remember the last time they played went to overtime. Remember that?
double
That was a good game.
Second game in the season, I think it was for them.
It was Oladipo went off. Him and Westbrook.
Yeah.
It was him and Westbrook. But once they went to overtime, you knew that the Magic would lose. You can't give Oklahoma extra minutes.
No, it's like when the Knicks went to overtime with the Thunder the other day.
Yeah. Hazonia stepped up. He finally was able to get in double figures with a plus
Minus. Okay.
in the plus minus.
Nice.
He was +5 in the plus minus for 16 points.
He's been hitting some double figure scoring games the last couple weeks. He's had a couple. He's had a few.
He's got the confidence still, right? Because he was confident as hell in the beginning.
They've got him playing kind of a point guard role off the bench, which is a little unique because Peyton's gone back to starting as the point guard, and they put Evan Fournier off the bench as a scoring option.
Yeah.
So Hazonia's kind of playing the three and the point, which he can do because he played it when he was overseas and
I didn't know.
last season for Barcelona. The Thunder basically it's the same thing we talked about. Billy Donovan's not doing anything different than Scott Brooks did. It's basically a two-man show and that's it.
That's not good.
What was it last night? I think it might have been during the Wizards game, or it was one of the broadcasts. The last couple of days they were talking about the Thunder, and I think it was last night. Doug Collins and Jay Billis were talking about it. How the Thunder, down the stretch of games, it's a two-man show.
Yeah.
It's just they don't pass the ball. They don't trust their teammates, and that's where shout out to our guy Books Nelson. The big Russell Westbrook fan, he says, well, he does pass the ball, just not in a close game down the stretch. Him nor Durant doesn't either.
In all fairness, the supporting cast isn't really.
They got guys who can, but you got to give guys like Anthony Morrow a chance. He can shoot the three.
Mm-hmm.
He can hit an open three. Give him a chance. Inez Kanter can score down low. Ibaka can hit a mid-range jump shot and maybe a couple threes. Waiters can score the ball when his head's not in his ass.
I don't trust it.
And Singler can hit an open shot. They've got some guys who can hit open shots and score, but down the stretch in a close game, it's going to be a steady dose of Westbrook and Durant.
The big thing I liked last night, Matt, you touched on it, was the NBA kind of mixing with the college
They did
broadcast.
that?
Yeah.
See, I was at work. I missed the Mavs game and everything.
Yeah.
So Jay Billis, actually, he is really good.
Yeah.
I love Jay Billis, man.
Very knowledgeable of the NBA. I didn't think he got to see as much NBA action as he did, but he had kind of the quote of the night saying, just the artistry that Steph Curry plays with is just phenomenal to watch. I thought that was a very good way of describing Steph's game as basically an artist. Because, just the smoothness of his dribble and just one dribble move and he gets that much separation to pull up 5 feet from behind the 3-point line. I mean, it's incredible to watch.
Like, or just him like faking on a screen, or making that look amazing, where a crowd will go whoa, and usually that's
Right.
no one even notices stuff like
Yeah.
that.
The ESPN needs to think about letting Doug Collins do more games. I love
Yeah.
Doug
I
Collins.
like him. I don't
calling
like
the
him in the
games.
studio. I like him
Oh.
down on the floor.
Yes, calling
Right.
the games.
Me
Yes.
too. Because
You
he
got to
did
get
that.
rid of Jalen Rose. I
Oh,
can't.
God.
Ugh.
He needs.
They need. You know what? They need to let Chauncey take his place.
I like
Yeah.
Chauncey from the little
Because
bit that I've
Chauncey's
seen.
in there when Rose is out, when he can't do
Right.
it or whatever. They need to let Chauncey take that position.
Yeah.
Right.
But Jalen's so popular though, man. Honestly, he's
And
popular.
they need to bring Bill Simmons back.
Oh.
He's not coming back, bro. He's set.
I know.
Yeah.
But I like Bill Simmons.
I do too. So I'm glad we have our own thing, because Czar don't like him for shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I never.
No.
What did Czar say about Bill
He
Simmons?
hates him.
Because he butts heads with Magic Johnson. And,
Okay,
like that.
that's
Right.
fair. I understand that.
Well,
I guess we
And
can stop. Yeah.
yeah. Ending the night was it was a close game. The Timberwolves beat the Clippers.
Yeah.
Basically, Andrew Wiggins, he's hit or miss. He'll have, he had 2 30-point games in a row. Before that, he had 15 points when they should have dominated Portland. And it's like, this kid, I don't understand. If you put his ability with Zach LaVine's work ethic, that kid would be better than Kevin Durant. But he doesn't want it. He doesn't want to practice. In the games, you can see he's like, I don't want to take over. You guys can have it. Somebody else.
That's what the knock on him was coming out of college: his motor and his killer instinct.
Man, Towns though, man. I mean, it's hard to take over, right, with him on the team, because that dude is. I didn't know he could shoot like that.
Wiggins had that problem last year, though.
He did.
One game he looks like he's Kobe Bryant.
Right.
He's aggressive. He's taking to the cup. He's knocking down shots. Then the next game you're like, what's he? He's doing nothing. And another knock on him. He's supposed to be this elite defender.
Right.
Look at his steal numbers. Look at he
Right.
does nothing other than score.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's alarming.
The biggest thing that alarms me about Minnesota, they've got Kevin Garnett there, which he's a huge supporter of Sam Mitchell. But we all know what Sam Mitchell did in Toronto. Basically, he got lucky as Coach of the Year, I think in 2006 or 2007, because he had Chris Bosh.
Exactly.
He took away, I don't think he's a good coach. He has
He's gone.
early 90s philosophy.
Was Vince on the team too with him?
No, because I think he was already with New Jersey and
Okay.
at that point.
Okay, so honestly, let's be honest, with all, he's there because God rest
Right.
Flip's son.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he's there.
Right.
Because, I mean, how could you really go out and find someone, high level at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason he's there. He's just... so y'all don't like Tibbs there. Y'all really don't.
Thibodeau, I mean, he
I
would.
really
If
don't.
I will say this: if Tom Thibodeau were to take that job and starting next year, the Timberwolves are a playoff team next year because they have the pieces to defend, and he's going to demand perfection on the defensive end of the floor, and they'll give him, and he will get that out of them. So they will be I would say they are a playoff team next year if they get Tom Thibodeau.
Minnesota has to decide what they're going to do with Ricky Rubio. He can't go through another season,
Yeah.
hit or miss. He started out, I think it was the first game of the season, and he hit everything in sight.
You know who he plays?
Against the
Lakers.
Yeah.
I thought it was real. I thought it was real. Because his
I was like, man, what did this kid do over the summer?
Yeah. I thought it was real. People were
Nothing.
wanting
He
to trade
just
for
happened to
Rubio
play
on my
against. He
fantasy.
just happened to play against the worst team in the league.
It looked real.
And it's just there's too many question marks on the team outside of Towns.
Yeah.
It's basically, and I like Shabazz Muhammad coming off the bench, but he's not someone that you're going to be able to build around fully. So they've got to decide what they're going to do with Rubio.
And
They've got to decide Towns if he's a power forward or if he's a center. So
I think Towns can play either. I don't think it really matters where you put him. I'd keep him at the 4 and I like Gorgie Jang.
I like put Towns at the 4, put
Yeah.
Jang at the center.
Yeah.
They need to figure out if Wiggins is going to be the 2 or the 3, and then they just need to go ahead and I know they like Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine's not going to be anything more than what he is now without better development. He needs
I think he could be a Jamal Crawford type player.
What?
See, I don't even think his handle's not even that good.
That's
Levine?
true. I think he could be a Crawford.
Levine?
And yeah.
Can he shoot?
He's a good shooter. He's not great. He's a good shooter. Yeah.
Jamal Crawford hits threes.
Yeah, but Jamal Crawford is also streaky as hell.
If you watch LaVine in the first summer league game, he lit it up. And then every summer league game after that, he couldn't hit the broadside of a ball.
And you know what's funny though? When you look, he's got good technique. He shoots a good ball. I think
he doesn't set his feet when he shoots.
Yeah.
It's almost like, to me, it's almost like watching J.R. Smith back when he was in high school, just pulling up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
or like a Deion Waiters type shot. Like he doesn't set his feet up.
I think LaVine can fit, because remember, he would only be a junior in college right now. So I think it's fair to give him a couple more years.
Oh, I'll give him a couple more years, but I don't think he's somebody that I would say if I'm Minnesota, oh, yeah, we can build around this guy. I'd rather get an asset or two for him next year and move on.
A nice veteran piece.
Right.
They'll need a couple veterans.
Absolutely.
That can actually play, not Kevin Garnett and Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah, because everyone keeps talking about KG. Like, they're
he can't play anymore.
No, KG ain't playing. He's going to play like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's pretty much touching on most of the NBA topics I think we had kind of on the list. Do you guys have anything you want to bring up for NBA topics?
I'm doing it for Lance because we skipped it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh yeah, thank you. I forgot about it. Yeah, good call.
We got to let Lance start this one off.
Yeah, go Lance.
Right.
What do you think?
Okay.
Of the comments about Dirk Nowitzki?
Okay, so I'm not a delusional person. I am very aware of who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a.k.a. Lou Alcindor, his former name.
Right. Yeah.
One of the greatest players of all time, has one of the most infamous shots in the skyhook. Number 1 scorer all time, multiple championships, a smart man off the floor. Like I said, a trailblazer. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind back in the day when if a black person, said anything, like they're going to get scrutinized for just standing up for their people. But to say that he's not a dominant player and that he would have been better to go to college in the States, mind you, that he didn't have to play in the States to be as great as he was. Like, he was already that great. Obviously, he had to improve on things, but people flew him out. He was already in a league in overseas, but Dallas and them were like, no, we want to fly you out anyways. Like, Dirk missed a playoff game in his league overseas to go play that U.S. Open Summit, the U.S. Summit that Matthew always brings up.
Yep, and he dominated.
This dude is so dominant, they don't know who to put on him, so they just shoot themselves in the foot by putting point guards on him. And they still do this at 37. There's still fours and threes that have problems guarding him. I mean, he had multiple years having 20-plus points. Obviously, MVP, Finals MVP, beat the Big Three.
By himself.
Scoring-wise, pretty much by himself.
By himself.
Man. But, I mean, he's a really solid passer. He plays very well out of the double team. And he's still, in the clutch, the main guy they go to. That says a lot. But that's what I'm going to say. I just think, and this is not the first time that Jabbar has brought this up. I just don't understand why he keeps. I just respect the man and say he's a great player and move on. Why would you have to dig deep to really give him a backhanded compliment? Pretty much. That's all I'm going to say.
What you got, Matt? What you want to
I got to bring this up. Remember when Scotty made the comment that LeBron could go down as going to be the greatest player of all time? Well, of course, Kareem chimed in on that. And he blasts Scottie Pippen. But in the process of blasting Scottie Pippen, he takes cheap shots at Michael Jordan. Well, Wilt Chamberlain, if you saw Wilt Chamberlain, he was the greatest. He kind of taking cheap shots at Michael. And it seems like some of a lot of old school guys, Oscar Robertson, I believe, has done it. They like to take cheap shots at these young guys. And I think a lot of that has to do with the rules, the way the game is played. A guy like Dirk, Kareem probably looks at Dirk, oh, he's a softie. Dirk is not a softie. Like you look at you're not sixth all time in scoring like Dirk said himself. You don't lead your team. I mean, he's the first guy since Hakeem Olajuwon to win a championship with no other All-Stars on the team. So I don't know how this guy is not dominant. And look, when was the last time Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hit a three-point shot? When was the last time he hit a turnaround fadeaway shot to win a game? I'm not saying. I mean, Kareem was dominant. He's all-time great. Nobody's going to take that away from him. But I mean, Dirk's skill set is what it is, and I mean, to say that guy was not a dominant guy at 7 feet tall is completely asinine. But I think it's just a lot of it may be Kareem just trying to, just trying to stay in the spotlight. Maybe, I don't know. But it just seems crazy to me.
I mean, Dirk is going to be the most famous, obviously German player, of course, ever.
Oh, yeah.
But I would put him up there as one of the most famous foreign-born NBA players, ever. I mean, of course, he's definitely top 5.
I'd put him number 1, right ahead of our guy Petrovic, who passed away back in '93.
From the Nets.
Yeah, and the Blazers.
He was damn good.
Petrovic was a phenomenal player that obviously, passed away before his time.
Right.
Yeah. I think as far as foreign-born players, I think you got to put Hakeem Olajuwon up there as
if you're going to count Hakeem, yes.
Okay, well, with one argument, Hakeem went to college in the States, right?
And he went to U of H.
So I know he's foreign, but he still he was groomed in the States.
I got you. Okay. All right. If we're going fully played.
Dirk's the greatest foreign player of all time. The guy to come from overseas to the NBA.
Like he's
number 1.
He was a stranger to America's game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Into the draft.
And we all remember his first season. We're like, this kid he ain't gonna make it.
No, yeah.
And then
his second year is when he really, he was in the three-point shootout his second year and shocked everybody.
Hey, look, man, and this is where the Lakers need to take heed. You don't it's a rookie.
Right.
It's a rookie. Why would you, it's the first year. Now, God forbid you get Anthony Bennett, then sell him, trade him. But I mean, you if you really want to put stock in your draft, you got to trust who you picked him. You got to trust it. Trust it, man.
You can't put him on the trading block halfway through the year.
And what is that going to do to him? I mean,
it's going to kill him. But I mean, he bounced back the other day at 18. The other night.
You got to stick with your guns. I mean, it's not like the front office didn't pick him. No, y'all picked him. That's what y'all wanted. So
I'll trade the Lakers. I'll give them both Isaiah Cannon, Dario Saric, and I'll give them Nerlens Noel, and we'll take back D'Angelo Russell and Larry Nance Jr. I'll take that trade.
And the Sixers and the Lakers would probably take it too.
Byron Scott would be like, yeah.
They'd take it. I guarantee you the Lakers would take that.
Man, I don't know.
I do. I think they'd take it. Well, I mean, Nerlens Noel still has a very high upside.
No, defensively he's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's why I think they'd take it.
You could play Noel at the center.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lakers.
Randall at the 4.
Stays, basically then you can decide from there what Embiid's going to be and, do what you want from there. They get the rights to Saric. Saric is in the spotlight in L.A., so if he comes in and does well, he can overtake Julius Randle for the starting power forward spot. I mean, D'Angelo Russell gets to run the point, or he could play the 2 in Philly, either one.
I would like Russell at the point in Philly with Stauskas at the 2.
Stauskas at the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the prodigal son's coming next year. Kobe Bryant to the Philadelphia 76ers via
Yo.
free agency.
He's gonna come back for one. He's gonna decide one more year because he wants to play with
No.
Ben Simmons. Because he wants to play with Ben Simmons, right?
He's hitting those 38 points. He got that 38, man. The Mamba's got it, the venom back.
I don't know. We threw the question out before if he was going to get 40 points.
Oh yeah, he's gonna. I think he's gonna get 50 this year. He's gonna do it once.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna do it.
He's gonna shoot 100 shots.
Hey, you got to understand. As long as he plays enough games and doesn't sit out much more, he's gonna throw up a bunch of shots. He's gonna have a game where he hits everything, kind of like the last game.
Oh, he has a green light every time.
Yeah, he's gonna throw up enough shots. I mean, he may take him 40 shots, but he's gonna get 50 points, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, our last topic of the night is NBA related, but it's our favorite video game to play.
All right.
Yeah.
The NBA 2K series. I don't know if 2K16's up there is the best, but want to talk about the big headlines. Basically, 2K is being sued for having detailed player tattoos in the game. Basically, Take-Two is the parent company of 2K Sports that makes, the NBA 2K series. They got hit with the lawsuit from Solid Oak Sketches, LLC. Basically, they're seeking $150,000 per infringement. And the images in question include 8 tattoos on the digital likeness of LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Eric Bledsoe, DeAndre Jordan, and Kenyon Martin. Now, with the licensing agreements, basically, it throws out the question: is it the players' rights to have full say-so whether they can be marketed in a game, or do the tattoo artists have a point that they own basically the ink and the rights to the?
But the players bought the tattoos. I don't understand that. And how did 2K not like get this handled in the first place?
They'll get it handled. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, this is minuscule, but
it's bullshit. It really is.
How did they get to this point, though? I thought
Because
they would already have the permission.
It's some stupid some tattoo artist who did some big time tattoo said, you know what? Because they've had the tattoos on these guys for years. It's not just like this is the first year. Now all of a sudden they want to sue.
But they're super detailed, though.
They are really good looking. They're trying to get paid.
Right, is exactly.
That's what it is. They have the key? I think in the court. My guess is if it ever goes to court, they're going to ask: do these tattoo artists have these tattoos copyrighted? If they don't have a damn leg to stand.
I doubt they have them copyrighted.
It's over then.
They have them hanging up in their wall.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean shit though.
They don't have copyright.
Yeah,
4 years ago, tattoo artists sued EA Sports.
Yeah.
Basically, they got a $350,000 settlement, and EA came out and said, if you're Madden gamers, you're bitching and complaining that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have tattoos. We have to get a signed waiver done before we can have him in the game. They finally got him in the game.
Pete,
yeah.
At your point, I just saw on Twitter. I forgot his name. He's from one of the forums. He said that the show for MLB has no tattoos.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like the game. Like I don't know.
When did this become a big thing? Tattoos.
That's what I'm saying.
The tattoo artists want to get paid now. You got paid for putting the tattoo. What is this? The player picked it. It's not your design.
All the tattoo artists saw was that $4 million opening week, and they said, "Cha-ching!" Let's make
that's
some
garbage.
money.
Oh, it was Operation Sports that reported it.
Okay.
They got this is the problem now. Everybody wants to get paid now. It's stupid.
I'm pretty sure they got paid a pretty penny to get those tattoos done.
Yeah, exactly.
What's gonna happen now is 2K is going to get scared. They're going to have to take a drawback. They're going to say, well, we got to take this out, this out, this out, and it hurts the product.
Bro.
Instead of people building the product up, working with the game developers and saying, what can we do to improve? Man, all right, this is my tattoo. It's in a game. Millions of people are playing it. We get exposure.
Exactly.
This is awesome. They look at it as, where's my money for this? Like, everybody wants a free handout, and it ruins
They're getting
it.
free publicity, really.
Or
Free marketing.
what if they just somehow put their name in the game? I don't know. Would they?
You know what
would
they could do?
like
You
that
know
more?
what they could do? You know how when you do My Player and you have the people who follow you on Twitter within the game?
Yeah, have a
Do
tattoo
it like that. Have the
artist.
tattoo artist on there.
Something. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
give them
that's
a little bit of money. You
That's
give them a little bit of
stroking
money
their
for
ego,
putting them using.
but-
Yeah,
but do something to where it's no lawsuit.
yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing I feel sorry for is the game developers. I mean, like we all know, Scott OG and Big Czar, big time in the community, always out there. Mike Wang out in the community. You've got so many, Mike Stoffer. A lot of the 2K guys are pro community, and all this does is just, to me, ruins their success and drive because it's petty stuff that they have to spend time on this. They'll have to go back. They'll have to take tattoos out. They'll have
That's
to get
weird.
extra permission for things.
That is
Next
weird.
thing, it's going to be some trainer. I taught Steph Curry this move. I'm suing because Steph
Oh,
Curry.
man.
It's almost a slippery slope.
Right.
What's next?
Because honestly, yeah, you could say tattoos don't matter, but dude, they matter. Because then these players, they don't look like them. How do you see Kenyon Martin without tattoos? Or J.R. Smith,
J.J. Redick with his big arm sleeve now.
which I just barely noticed a couple weeks ago. But yeah, if you have someone like J.R. Smith with no tattoos, that's not even J.R. Smith anymore. I won't notice him
NBA Jam.
without his Transformer tattoo on his neck.
He's got the Transformer tattoo now?
Yeah.
I thought he had the New York tattoo.
Well, he has that, and there's like some Transformer. But yeah, that's petty, man. That's just very petty. And I do feel sorry for developers because, like you said, they're going to take a step back in something as small as tattoos.
Is J.R. Smith a Decepticon?
I think that's the tattoo. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
It's the Decepticon
Yeah,
logo.
the bad ones are the Decepticons, right? Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Figures.
But
The biggest thing is you would have so many other tattoo artists just jumping at the bit to say, let me show off my artwork in the game, all that stuff, and it's like you just don't. The people that are suing don't see the marketability that you get. Far more lucrative than.
yeah. Well, maybe 2K will counter with the presentation of, hey, man, we can do this for you to show off your tattoos, still have them in the game, but pretty much endorse you somehow without being like
giving them free advertisement. That's kind of what it is free marketing.
Yeah, but not like blatant to where it's like this is so and so,
go to him,
this is a shop or whatever, but just somehow put them in the game and endorse their product.
You know what you kind of got to do? Like, look at all the entertainers. You got guys like Chris Brown and stuff. Look at this. Look at the sneakers they wear all the time. They get all the sneakers before they come out. That's free marketing for Nike. Do something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But they'll be fine. They'll pay it off. But as far as like in the future not having tattoos, that's I know that sounds weird, but it's unacceptable.
Honestly, it wouldn't be a big deal to me. But I could see why people would be mad because it's like like you see J.R. Smith, he's got he's tattooed from like head to toe.
Yeah.
He would look naked almost without him.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, authenticity is like one of the main things we want in gaming, and
You want realism. You want it to be realistic as possible.
I could care less if they don't have sleeves in the game. I don't care, but I mean, tattoos is kind of big because that is a personal thing of a player that you're taking away. That's like taking away an accurate hairstyle or an accurate nose or something. That's
the pink hair of Nick Stauskas.
I'm saying, dude, that's authenticity, man, and you're taking it away from us.
They need to do a scan of Nick Stauskas.
Yeah, all they have to do is just change the hair color. I mean, there's so many players that
they need to fix Dirk Nowinski's hair. That's my main argument. Remember that year it was brown?
He's got the new haircut now. He's got the Ellen DeGeneres haircut now.
Remember when it was black and they somehow messed it up and they had to change it real quick? I don't know.
And this year the lighting has been changed different, so Jalil Okafor looks albino.
Yeah, the textures and colors, but yeah, authenticity, man, it matters. Like I love
So, Lance,
gameplay.
do you want the Ellen DeGeneres cut with Dirk now?
No.
I know you saw that, right? You
Yeah.
saw that.
It's the same. It looks almost like the same haircut from his rookie year with
Yeah,
Nash.
it does.
It
Just
looks
without
like
the
that.
blonde, just not dyed, just left the blonde.
Yeah, he's a champion now, so I guess he can.
That's right. Yeah,
wear
let's hook Dirk up. Let's hook him up.
That is very petty, though. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, really, dude?
I thought it was funny.
Well, guys, you got anything else you want to bring up before we wrap it up?
I think we covered almost
Yeah,
everything.
man, we talked about everything today, honestly. Football,
Yeah.
they missed our DC Marvel talk, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can have that for
We'll
another
have,
day.
to, we'll have to jump on some film fanatics
Yeah.
and comic book fanatics, and we'll have to do some DC talk for Batman versus Superman.
That's
yeah.
right.
For sure. So
Bring Shoe Collector back in.
yeah, we get Shoe and get books on here and
Yeah,
Czar
definitely
and
books.
a couple others.
I would love for books to get on and show some art.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna wrap it up for this week, but we'll see if we can do one next week. I definitely want to get us together and do one for the 18th for the trade deadline and just kind of analyze the trades and see kind of second half looks. If we do one for next week, hopefully some things will happen during the week. We can kind of piece one together. But if not, we'll see you back on the 18th. And just want to say thanks to the Sim Nation community. All the NBA fans that have tuned in and joined us, and thanks to my cohorts here, Meek Mill and Lance, and shout out to Shoe Collector who had to run because he's got to work.
Thanks for coming in.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
But,
we need some Cavs love because they don't always get love on this.
No.
They get respect. They don't get love, but we do respect them.
right.
At least
Well,
I
think
do.
I think that's it for this week. Hope everybody has a good week, and see you guys next time.